The cash envelope system is one of the most powerful budgeting methods ever created. You take physical cash, put it into labeled envelopes for groceries, dining out, entertainment, and when the envelope is empty, you stop spending. It works because spending physical cash hurts. Studies show that people spend up to 20% less when using cash versus credit cards. But here's the problem. In 2026, cash is almost obsolete. Paying with physical bills feels clunky, unsafe, and inconvenient. You're not going to walk around with envelopes full of cash for your coffee, your groceries, and your weekend plans. And if you try, you'll get frustrated, you'll lose an envelope, or you'll give up entirely. That's why the digital envelope system, using modern apps and bank accounts, is the 2026 upgrade that keeps the psychology of cash while adding the convenience of technology. And it's easier than you think. If you stay until the end of this video, you'll learn exactly how to set up a digital envelope system using nothing but your smartphone and a few free apps. I'll show you how to create virtual envelopes for every spending category, how to automate the funding of those envelopes, and how to track your spending in real time without ever touching a physical dollar bill. You'll also learn the one psychological trick that makes digital envelopes just as effective as cash, and the common mistake that causes people to fail. My name is your name, and today we're bringing the cash envelope system into the 21st century. Let me start with a story that will sound familiar to anyone who's tried the envelope system. A few years ago, a viewer named Rachel was determined to get her spending under control. She watched all the videos. She bought the fancy labeled envelopes. She went to the bank and withdrew hundreds of dollars in cash. For the first week, she was great. She paid for groceries with cash from the grocery envelope. She paid for dinner with cash from the dining envelope. But then she needed to buy gas. She had forgotten her gas envelope. She used her credit card. Then she was at the farmer's market and saw a beautiful handmade scarf. She didn't have her clothing envelope with her, but she had her entertainment envelope. She borrowed from it. By the end of the month, her envelopes were a mess. She had lost $40 somewhere, and she felt like a failure. She gave up. Rachel's problem wasn't her discipline. It was the medium. Physical cash is great in theory, but it's a pain in practice. You have to carry multiple envelopes. You have to remember which envelope is which. You have to go to the ATM constantly. You have to deal with change, and you lose the ability to track your spending automatically. The solution is to take the same psychological principle, separating your money into distinct buckets with hard limits, and move it into the digital world. Asterisk, the psychology of envelopes, why it works even without cash. Let's talk about why the envelope system works in the first place. The key is something called mental accounting. When you have one big pile of money in your checking account, every purchase feels like it's coming from the same bucket. A $5 coffee doesn't feel different from a $50 grocery trip. But when you have separate envelopes, each with a specific purpose, your brain treats that money as non-fungible. You are less likely to take money from the rent envelope to buy a pair of shoes because that envelope is mentally labeled for a critical expense. Digital envelopes work the same way. When you see a separate balance for groceries that has $200 left, and you know that's all you have for the next 2 weeks, you will think twice before buying that expensive cut of steak. The digital representation creates the same psychological barrier as physical cash, but without the hassle. The 2026 tool stack, which apps to use. In 2026, you have several excellent options for digital envelope budgeting. Let me rank them. The best all-around app is YNAB You Need a Budget. It's built on the envelope method. You create categories, envelopes, Assign every dollar you have to a category and then spend from those categories. It syncs with your bank accounts and credit cards, so transactions are imported automatically. You can check your remaining category balances on your phone before you make a purchase. YNAB costs about $15 per month, but they offer a 34-day free trial. For most people, it pays for itself in reduced spending within the first month. The second best option is Good Budget. It's specifically designed as a digital envelope system. You create envelopes, add transactions manually, or sync with some banks, and track your balances. Good Budget has a free version with limited envelopes and a paid version for about $8 per month. It's simpler than YNAB and great for beginners. The third option is to use a sub-account approach with a neobank like One Finance, Capital, or Envel. These apps allow you to create separate pockets or jars within a single account. You can assign a debit card to each pocket, or you can move money between pockets before spending. One Finance, for example, gives you a single debit card that you can point to a specific pocket for each transaction. Capital lets you set up rules to automatically fund different goals. These are excellent for people who want to keep the envelope system separate from their main bank. The fourth option is the low-tech digital method, multiple checking accounts. You can open several free checking accounts at an online bank like Ally or SoFi. Name them groceries, dining, entertainment. Set up automatic transfers from your main account on payday. Then use the debit card for that specific account when you make a purchase. This is clunkier, but it works and costs nothing. Step by step, setting up your digital envelope system. Asterisk. Let me walk you through the exact process using YNAB, since it's the most popular and powerful. YNAB. Download the app on your phone and computer. Start the 34-day free trial. Step 2. Connect your bank accounts and credit cards. YNAB will import your transactions automatically. Step 3. Create your envelope categories. Start with the essentials: rent, mortgage, utilities, groceries, transportation, insurance, minimum debt payments. Then add your variable spending: dining out, entertainment, clothing, gifts, personal care, household goods. Then add your savings goals: emergency fund, vacation, Christmas gifts, new car. Don't create too many categories. 10 to 15 is plenty. Too many categories becomes overwhelming. Step 4. Assign every dollar you currently have to a category. YNAB calls this giving every dollar a job. If you have $5,000 in your checking account, you decide how much goes to rent, how much to grocery, how much to savings until every dollar is allocated. This is the most important step. You are forced to face your priorities. Step 5. Set up your funding targets. For fixed expenses like rent, set a needed for spending target for the due date. For variable expenses like groceries, set a monthly savings builder target, say $400 per month. YNAB will remind you to fund that category each month. Step 6. Automate. Set up recurring transfers from your main account to your different spending categories on payday. YNAB's schedule feature can auto-assign money based on your targets. Step 7. Before you make a purchase, check your category balance on your phone. Open YNAB, look at groceries. If it says $100 left, you know you can spend up to $100. This replaces the physical envelope check. Step 8. When you make a purchase, log the transaction in YNAB or let it import automatically. YNAB will deduct the amount from the correct category. If you overspend, YNAB will show a negative balance in that category, forcing you to cover it from another category. That's the digital equivalent of borrowing from another envelope. Step 9. At the end of the month, review your spending. Any money left in envelopes can be rolled over to the next month or moved to savings. YNAB makes this easy. the 1-minute digital envelope check before every purchase. Asterisk, the key to making this system work is the pre-purchase check. Before you swipe your card, you open your budgeting app and look at the category balance. If the balance is green, you're good. If it's red or low, you reconsider. This 10-second habit is what turns the envelope system from a passive tracking tool into an active spending control system. I've seen people reduce their dining out spending by 50% just by checking their category balance before ordering. The credit card dilemma: how to use envelopes with rewards cards. One of the biggest objections to the envelope system is that you can't use credit cards for rewards. But you can with a simple adjustment. The key is to treat your credit card as a payment method, not a source of funds. In YNAB, you set up a credit card account. When you make a purchase on your credit card, YNAB automatically moves the money from your spending category, say groceries, to the credit card payment category. That money is now reserved to pay off the card. As long as you never spend more in a category than you have allocated, you'll always have enough to pay your credit card balance in full. This gives you the best of both worlds: envelope control and credit card rewards. You can even set up auto-pay for the full statement balance, knowing that the money is already set aside. The No Spend Challenge envelope, an advanced tactic. Asterisk, here's a pro tip: create an envelope called No Spend Days. Each day you don't spend any money on non-essentials. You transfer $5 into this envelope. At the end of the month, you have a $150 to spend on something fun, guilt-free. This gamifies the envelope system and rewards you for sticking to your budget. Many apps like Capital have this feature built in. Asterisk, the shared envelope system for couples. If you share finances with a partner, the digital envelope system is a game changer. You can both log into the same YNAB account on your phones. Each of you can see the SAM category balances in real time. No more "I thought you paid the electric bill" or "I didn't know you spent $200 on clothes." You can even set up different colored categories for his, hers, and joint. This transparency is the foundation of financial harmony. What about cash for anonymity or small purchases? If you still want to use physical cash for some things like a haircut, a farmer's market, or a kid's allowance, you can create a cash envelope in YNAB. When you withdraw cash from the ATM, you record a transaction moving money from your cash category to your wallet, which you can treat as an account. Then, when you spend the cash, you manually enter the transaction in YNAB. It's a bit more work, but it keeps your system intact. The envelope system for emergency funds and sinking funds. Asterisk, one of the most powerful uses of digital envelopes is for sinking funds, saving for predictable but irregular expenses. Car maintenance, insurance premiums, holiday gifts, back-to-school shopping. Instead of panicking when the $1,000 insurance bill comes due, you create an envelope for insurance and put $100 in it every month. When the bill comes, the money is there. This smooths out your cash flow and reduces stress. YNABs needed for spending targets are perfect for this. The biggest mistake: not checking before you spend. Asterisk. The number one reason people fail at the envelope system, digital or physical, is that they don't check their balances before spending. They assume they have money left, or they don't want to bother with the app. This is like pulling cash from the wrong envelope without looking. You must build the habit of checking. Put a sticky note on your credit card that says, "Check YNAB first." Set a reminder on your phone for 30 minutes before you leave work. Do whatever it takes. Real example: how Sarah saved $400 a month. Asterisk, a client of mine, Sarah, was spending $800 a month on dining out and entertainment. She had no idea. She set up YNAB with a $400 monthly target for dining out. The first month, she overspent by $200 in the first 2 weeks. YNAB showed a negative balance, and she had to cover it by taking money from her vacation envelope. That hurt. The next month, she checked her category balance before every meal. She started packing lunch twice a week. She chose cheaper restaurants. By month 3, she was consistently under $400. She saved $400 a month, $800 a year. She used that money to fund her Roth IRA. That's the power of the digital envelope system. The 2026 update, open banking and real-time sync. In 2026, open banking is more widespread than ever. Apps like YNAB and Good Budget now have near real-time transaction syncing with most major banks. You no longer have to wait days for a transaction to appear. Within seconds of swiping your card, the transaction shows up in your app and your category balance updates. This makes the envelope system feel like magic. You always know exactly how much you have left. Asterisk, the lazy envelope system. One bank account, one envelope app. If you don't want to link all your accounts, you can use a simpler method. Keep your main checking account for fixed expenses, rent, utilities, debt payments. Then open a separate checking account at a different bank for your variable spending. Transfer a fixed amount each month into that account. Then use an envelope app like Good Budget to split that account's balance into categories. You're essentially using the second account as your spending money bucket. This creates a hard boundary between bills and fun money. A final story, the college student who mastered her money. A viewer named Emma was a college student with a part-time job. She was always broke. She tried the physical envelope system but kept losing envelopes and forgetting to go to the ATM. I introduced her to Good Budget. She set up digital envelopes for groceries, eating out, entertainment, and school supplies. She set a budget of $50 per week for groceries, $30 for eating out, etc. She checked her category balances before every purchase. Within 3 months, she was no longer running out of money before the end of the month. She even started saving $50 a month for a spring break trip. She told me, "I didn't know where my money was going before. Now I know, and I'm in control." You can be Emma. You don't need to be a finance nerd. You just need a system, and the digital envelope system is that system. Your action plan, do this today. Asterisk, here's what you need to do in the next hour. First, sign up for a free trial of YNAB or Good Budget. Download the app. Second, connect your main checking account and credit cards. Don't worry about perfection. You can adjust later. Third, create your envelope categories. Use the list above as a starting point. Keep it simple. Fourth, assign every dollar in your checking account to a category. This is the give every dollar a job step. It's uncomfortable but necessary. Fifth, set up funding targets for each category. For fixed bills, use needed for spending. For variable, use monthly savings builder. Sixth, commit to checking your category balance before every purchase for the next 30 days. Use the app. 7. After 30 days, review your spending, adjust your targets as needed, then keep going. 8th, comment below, "I'm going digital with my envelopes starting today." I'll reply to the first 100 comments. If this video showed you how to bring the cash envelope system into 2026, hit the like button. It helps others discover that budgeting doesn't have to mean carrying wads of cash. Subscribe and turn on notifications. In the next video, I'm going to reveal why your credit score is a scam and the real number that banks use to approve you. The cash envelope system was genius for its time, but times have changed. The digital envelope system gives you all the benefits, controlled spending, limits, and the psychological power of separation without the hassle of physical cash. Set it up today. Your wallet will thank you. I'll see you in the next video.